Some mountain residents are hiding a dirty secret in their backyards that may be getting other people sick. Tonight, a News 13 investigation exposes a problem known as straight piping, dumping raw sewage directly into rivers and creeks. News 13's investigative reporter Mike Mason joins us to explain. Mike.
Yeah, environmentalists say Madison County has been infamous for having problems with straight piping in the past. But this is a widespread issue, and we wanted to see for ourselves who's doing it and how county officials are responding. Although it's illegal, some people dispose of their raw sewage using a method known as straight piping.
When they flush their commode or anything that goes out the drain pipe goes directly to the creek.
I think it's nasty.
You can just put a pipe and dump it out to the river, and, it flows downstream and becomes somebody else's problem.
Arvol Coates investigates how straight piping affects the French Broad River. When raw sewage is dumped into our creeks and streams, it eventually makes its way to the French Broad.
If you have enough of those fecal coliform or nutrients in the river, it can cause fish kills, certainly make humans sick, and definitely not what you want in your rivers.
A more steady stream.
Matthew Ponder believes straight piping killed all these fish in his family's pond. 2 years after reporting this to the health department, he says the problem still hasn't been completely resolved.
It's still flowing, on the ground.
On the ground?
Yeah, and into the pond.
What do you think about that?
Well, that's unacceptable. But I've always heard that Madison County had a lot of straight piping.
County Manager Alan Lamberson says the Ponder case is complicated by the family's legal battle over property rights. Still, some residents feel other homeowners are also not held accountable.
It seems everybody in the community, I think, knows it.
I pointed out 2 or 3 different people that were straight piping.
So do you think that there's still straight piping?
I know there is.
Pete Orthmann keeps a close eye on county politics. He says he's currently suing Madison County for denying him access to public records.
I'm probably the county muckraker.
According to Orthmann, 3 years ago he told the health department's lead inspector about several properties straight piping in the town of Marshall.
There's 2 trailers on East Fork, and there's clearly a straight pipe. And she said she'd go check it out.
4 other residents tell News 13 they also reported these cases to the health department in the past 3 years. Matthew Ponder even shot cell phone video of the 2 trailers on East Fork Road.
I waded down the center of the creek and shot video of the pipe running from underneath the trailer right into the creek.
The video shows a white PVC pipe that's apparently connected to the trailer and empties into a small creek.
You can see it from the road.
This past November, we checked it out for ourselves. Just moments after we arrived, so did the owner. Why are people telling me that you're straight piping?
I don't have no idea.
Paul Bruce says he owns the land in one of the 2 trailers. He claims he installed 2 septic tanks 25 years ago and has since updated them. What about that white pipe, that big pipe out back of this trailer?
A white pipe.
Bruce explained he also owns trailers across the road on top of a hill. He claims the pipe is only used to funnel spring water between the 2 locations.
And those 2 trailers up there was put in several years ago, and both of them has septic tanks.
Last November, 2 weeks after we began asking questions, the health department inspected Bruce's trailers and issued these notices of violation. Officials say Bruce claims to have a septic tank for 1 trailer, but he can't provide any proof, so he was ordered to install a new one. Bruce was given until January 22nd to comply. So far, he hasn't. Bruce was also cited for the other trailer, which was being rented out. So officials demanded he disconnect the power and remove the tenant. Earlier this month, Bruce complied, and that case was closed. According to the health department, the only prior complaint against Bruce was in 2011. Inspectors say one of his trailers had a failing septic system, which was seeping through the yard, and the kitchen sink runs through a pipe to the creek. The power was later shut off, and the county closed the case. But residents say homeowners have been getting away with this for years.
It ain't right, by no means.
Arvol Coates was forced to close his general store in 2011. Although he had a working septic system, it wasn't up to code. His store is adjacent to Bull Creek in this small trailer.
Goes back out this way.
Residents claim that trailer has been straight piping, and they reported it to the health department several years ago. Coates says he questioned a county inspector about it.
Why can't you do something to make him come up to code? Shake his head. He wouldn't even talk to him.
After we questioned the county, an inspector found the trailer was indeed straight piping into the creek. Over the past few months, the county has issued 2 notices of violation with no results. Then, last week, the tenants were sent an eviction notice. We found in 2013, Madison issued more septic violations than Polk, McDowell, and Rutherford counties. 25 complaints were filed, 12 cases were confirmed and issued violations, 13 others were unfounded or have since been resolved.
They've always had the reputation of having those problems, and I don't necessarily know enough about how it's regulated there to sort of have an opinion about why.
Madison County officials say these investigations take time, but residents say time is money, and they depend upon tourism dollars to stay afloat.
The people fish in the streams and tube and raft. I mean, the county has built a good industry on rafting.
It's certainly not how we want to treat our rivers as a dumping ground, as a place to get rid of our sewage.
And in the late 90s, the state began a program to help counties investigate straight piping violations. They essentially went door to door. They found 20% of homes had septic problems, but that program was later canceled for lack of funding. If you know of a septic violation that's not getting resolved, you can always contact us or the Western North Carolina Alliance at 828-258-8737.